On the lush, otherworldly terrain of planet Zeta 9, where the grass shimmered like emeralds under a violet sky, Dr. Mia Chen found herself once again at the center of chaos. "Mia! I don't think that's a good idea," shouted Dr. Leo Ramirez, his voice laced with equal parts panic and exasperation. Mia was poised before a massive, ancient stone structure, its surface adorned with alien glyphs that pulsed softly as if alive. She squinted at her scanner, completely ignoring Leo's warning. "Come on, Leo. How can we make groundbreaking discoveries if we're too scared to poke the glowing thing? Because last time you poked something glowing, we ended up stuck in a cave with bioluminescent slugs for 2 days." Leo replied, throwing his hands up. But Mia, ever the eager scientist, was already shoving a twig into a gap in the stone, her mind racing with the possibilities of what might be unlocked. The twig snapped, the stone rumbled, and suddenly, a blinding light shot forth. Mia jumped back, a mix of awe and fear flashing across her face. The glyphs flared to life, and before anyone could react, a swarm of small, iridescent insects burst from the crevice, filling the air with a buzzing that sounded surprisingly like laughter. Mia. Tommy Nguyen, the team's laid-back botanist, yelled, scrambling to cover his head with a clipboard. "What have you done?" The insects, later dubbed Zerglings, seemed harmless enough at first. They danced around the team, their tiny bodies glimmering like sequins in the alien sun. "Look, they're cute!" Mia exclaimed, reaching out. "They're probably friendly. Or they're about to eat us." Leo shot back, eyes wide. "Why do you always think everything is cute?" Suddenly, one of the Zerglings darted straight for Leo's head, landing on his hair. With a shriek, he swatted at it, sending it flying into a nearby bush, where it landed with a soft thump. "Mia, this is your fault." Leo groaned, glancing at the now agitated swarm, but instead of attacking, the Zerglings regrouped, hovering like an audience that had just witnessed a terrible performance. They seemed to confer, buzzing in a complex rhythm, which sent the team into a mix of confusion and awe. "Do you think they're trying to communicate?" Jessie Lynn, the team's eccentric engineer, asked, adjusting her glasses. She had been tinkering with a translation device all week and suddenly looked like a kid in a candy store. "Sure, right after they finish eating us," Leo muttered, still trying to swat the remaining bugs away. Mia took a deep breath, her scientific curiosity overpowering her common sense. "Let me try." She stepped forward, raising her hands in a gesture she hoped conveyed peace. She then began to imitate the buzzing sound, which elicited more buzzing from the Zerglings. The result was immediate. One Zergling landed delicately on her shoulder, and in that moment, Mia felt a jolt of connection. "See? They like me." Leo rolled his eyes. "Or they think you're their new queen." Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. The ground shook as a massive shadow loomed over them. From the depths of the cave emerged something far larger than the Zerglings, a creature that made the team collectively gasp. The Queen Zergling had awakened. "Mia, what have you done?" Leo's voice trembled with a mix of fear and disbelief as the colossal creature surveyed them with its multifaceted eyes. With a dramatic flourish, the Queen screeched, sending a wave of Zerglings spiraling into a frenzy. Mia's brain raced. She had inadvertently released an ancient guardian of the planet. And instead of running away, she found herself stepping forward again. Maybe she just wants to talk. Talk? With that thing? Leo stared at her, horrified. What's next, a tea party? The Queen lunged forward, and for a split second, everything seemed to slow down. Time froze as Mia's mind raced through the options. She could run, she could scream, or she could, maybe, just maybe, reason with it. "Okay, new plan," she shouted, and as if on cue, the Zerglings buzzed louder, echoing her urgency. They began a chaotic retreat, arms flailing, as the Queen's enormous form began to advance, but instead of panic, something unexpected happened. The Zerglings, in a dazzling display of agility, formed a protective circle around Mia, as if sensing her intent, and in that moment, instead of feeling afraid, she felt something else, an exhilarating thrill of adventure. The chase that ensued was a blend of slapstick and science fiction. Zerglings whirled around them, and amidst the chaos, Jessie shouted, "I think I can modify the drone to emit a frequency that might calm them down." She scrambled to her backpack, her fingers flying over her gadgetry as the buzzing intensified. "Quickly!" Leo yelled, dodging a particularly enthusiastic Zergling that had taken a liking to his sleeve. "Before they decide we're dinner." As Jessie worked, Mia continued her ridiculous attempt to negotiate with the Queen, her movements growing more exaggerated with every passing moment. "Look! We're all friends here," she shouted, though her voice cracked under the strain. Finally, Jessie's device emitted a high-pitched tone that seemed to resonate with the Zerglings. They slowed, the chaos dissipating, and for a moment, peace enveloped the clearing. The Queen halted, tilting her massive head as if trying to understand this new sound. Mia couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. "See? Who knew bug diplomacy could be so effective?" Just then, a loud rumbling echoed from the cave, followed by a sudden silence. The team turned, and with horror, they watched as a massive rock slid from the cave's mouth, sealing it off. "Great, now we're stuck here with the world's largest bug," Tommy exclaimed, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Well, we can't just sit here and wait for it to eat us," Leo shouted. "We need a plan." As the Queen Zergling's multifaceted eyes locked onto Mia's, she realized that their fate rested on her shoulders. The Zerglings had chosen her, perhaps as their ambassador, or their unintentional queen. Either way, it was up to her to find a way to bridge the gap between them and save her team. "Okay, team," Mia declared, a newfound determination in her voice. "Let's figure out how to coexist with our new friends, shall we?" And with that, the adventure truly began. As the colossal Queen Zergling regarded Mia, the tension in the air crackled with uncertainty. "Okay, everyone, deep breaths," Mia instructed, her voice surprisingly steady despite the enormity of the situation. "We need to figure out what she wants, and how to keep ourselves safe." Leo, who had finally managed to swat away the last of the Zerglings that had taken a liking to his hair, took a step closer to Mia. "How exactly do we plan to negotiate with a creature that could crush us with a flick of her antennae?" His skepticism was evident, but so was the hint of admiration for Mia's unyielding spirit. "I have a theory," Jessie piped up, adjusting her glasses. "If we can show the Queen that we're not a threat, maybe she'll let us communicate. We need something to demonstrate our intentions." Mia nodded, her mind racing. "What about the plant specimens we collected earlier? Some of them have calming properties. If we can create a kind of offering, it might soothe her." Tommy, who had been nervously clutching a sample of the alien flora, nodded enthusiastically. "That could work. I have a few samples that emit a pheromone-like scent. It could signal to the Queen that we mean no harm." He rifled through his bag, pulling out a couple of bright, luminescent flowers that shimmered with an otherworldly glow. "Perfect. Let's do this," Mia said, a spark of determination igniting within her. "Jessie, can you rig the drone to carry the flowers? We can present them to the Queen." "On it." Jessie grabbed the drone, fingers flying over the controls. Just hope it doesn't blow up this time. As the drone whirred to life, Mia took a moment to gather her thoughts. Okay, everyone, remember, calm and collected. We're here to learn, not to fight. She glanced at Leo, who was still eyeing the Queen warily. You got this, Leo. Just think of her as a really big insect with a bit more authority. Great. That really helps, he muttered, but a hint of a smile played at the corners of his lips. With the drone ready, Mia carefully placed the flowers into a compartment. Let's do this, she said, sending the drone forward. It hovered in the air, the soft hum of its motor contrasting with the wild buzz of the Zerglings surrounding them. As the drone approached, the Queen turned her attention to the glowing offering. She leaned closer, her multifaceted eyes scanning the flowers with intense curiosity. The swarm of Zerglings, momentarily forgotten, settled down, the buzzing quieting to a curious hum. Now's our chance. Mia whispered, stepping forward with hands raised in a gesture of peace. The drone released the flowers, and they drifted down gently, landing softly before the Queen. She examined them, slowly extending a delicate appendage towards the petals. The moment the tips of her antennae touched the flowers, a wave of calming energy rippled through the clearing. Leo, who had been holding his breath, let it out in a rush. I can't believe it's actually working. As the Queen began to sample the flowers, a low, resonating sound filled the air, almost like a purr. The Zerglings responded, their buzzing harmonizing with the sound, creating a surreal symphony of alien music. Looks like she likes them, Tommy said, grinning. Maybe we've just made the first interspecies peace offering. Mia felt a wave of relief wash over her. Now, let's see if we can take it a step further. If she's calm, maybe she'll let us communicate. Jesse, can you adjust the drone to transmit that frequency you found earlier? The one that seemed to resonate with them? Already on it. Jesse's fingers danced over the controls, and moments later, the drone emitted a high-pitched tone that echoed through the clearing. The Queen's antennae twitched, and she tilted her head, clearly intrigued. As the melody filled the air, the Zerglings began to swirl around the team, forming intricate patterns in the sky. Look at that! Leo exclaimed, his skepticism melting away as he watched the display. They're responding. They understand. Mia's heart raced as she continued to maintain eye contact with the Queen. We need to show her that we come in peace, that we want to understand her world. She took a deep breath and began to speak, her voice steady and clear. We're explorers. We're here to learn about your planet and share knowledge. We mean no harm. The Queen seemed to listen, her head tilting in acknowledgement. The Zerglings hovered closer, and for a moment, it felt like they were on the brink of a breakthrough. Then, as if on cue, another rumble echoed from the cave behind the Queen. The ground trembled again, and a section of the cave collapsed, sending dust and debris flying. The team gasped and instinctively took a step back. Great, now we're going to get buried alive, Leo groaned, looking toward the cave. But the Queen, unfazed, turned her massive head toward the source of the disturbance. With a low, commanding sound, she summoned the Zerglings into formation, sending them to investigate the cause of the noise. Shouldn't we be doing the same? Tommy asked, eyes wide. Not yet, Mia said, trying to keep her focus on the Queen. Let's see what she's doing first. If she's leading the way, maybe we can follow her to safety. The Zerglings buzzed around the Queen, flitting toward the cave entrance. The Queen followed, her massive form casting a long shadow over the team. With her antennae held high, she signaled for Mia and her team to stay close. Okay, let's stick together, Mia instructed, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. This could be our chance to learn more about this ecosystem, and figure out what's causing the disturbance. They moved cautiously, following the Zerglings and the Queen into the cave. As they entered, the air turned cooler, the walls glistening with moisture. Strange luminescent fungi illuminated the path, casting an eerie glow. As they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a chamber filled with ancient technology, alien devices resembling a mix of organic and mechanical forms, all pulsating with energy. "This is incredible," Leo breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's like we've stepped into an alien laboratory." Jesse, who had been documenting everything, moved closer to examine a console covered in intricate symbols. "I bet these devices are what kept the Zerglings sealed away. They must have been protecting something important." Suddenly, a loud crash reverberated through the chamber. The ground shook, and a nearby wall crumbled, revealing a hidden passage. The Zerglings buzzed nervously, circling around the Queen as she raised her antennae, sensing the disturbance. "Let's check it out," Mia said, her curiosity piqued. "If there's something behind that wall, it could be crucial to understanding why the Queen was sealed. Or it could be something that wants to eat us," Leo cautioned, but the glint in his eyes betrayed his own intrigue. As they approached the newly revealed passage, Mia felt the anticipation build within her. The Zerglings and the Queen seemed to guide them forward, their buzzing growing more animated. With cautious steps, they entered the dark corridor. It opened into another vast chamber, this one brimming with a vibrant ecosystem. Giant plants intertwined with the remnants of advanced technology. The air was thick with the scent of alien flowers, and the sound of dripping water echoed softly. "What is this place?" Tommy whispered, captivated. Mia stepped forward, her heart racing with the thrill of discovery. "It's like a sanctuary, a place where the Zerglings and this technology coexist." Suddenly, the Queen let out a low, resonating call, and the Zerglings scattered, revealing a massive object in the center of the chamber. It resembled a crystal pulsing with energy, surrounded by the Zerglings, who seemed to be tending to it. "What do you think it is?" Jessie asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think this is what they were protecting," Mia said, taking a step closer. "It looks like a power source. Maybe it's the key to the Zerglings' survival, and perhaps even the planet's." Just then, the ground shook violently, and the chamber's walls began to crack. The team staggered as the Queen turned, a look of urgency crossing her features. The Zerglings buzzed in alarm, and Mia realized they had to act fast. "We need to stabilize this area," Mia shouted over the noise. "Jessie, can you rig something up to reinforce the structure?" "Give me a second." Jessie scrambled, pulling out her tools. "If I can get this device to resonate with the crystal's frequency, it might help stabilize the energy output." As Jessie worked, the ground shook again, more violently this time. "Hurry," Leo urged, looking toward the entrance. "We need to get out of here." "No," Mia shouted, feeling a sense of urgency. "We can't leave without understanding what this is. This could be the breakthrough we need. Breakthrough or not, I'd rather not be crushed." Leo replied, glancing nervously at the ceiling. Jessie finally connected a series of wires, and the device began to hum in response to the crystal. The Queen and Zerglings seemed to respond as well, buzzing with renewed energy as they encircled the crystal. Come on," Jessie muttered under her breath, adjusting the frequency. The humming grew louder, resonating with the crystal, and the vibrations began to stabilize the surrounding area. With a final adjustment, the device emitted a powerful pulse of energy, sending waves through the chamber. The vibrations lessened, and the tremors began to subside. "Did we do it?" Tommy asked, wide-eyed. Yes. I think we did. Jessie exclaimed, breathing heavily. We stabilized it. Mia felt a surge of relief wash over her, but it was short-lived. The ground rumbled one last time, and then silence fell. The Zerglings fluttered around them, their buzzing now a softer, more melodic sound. Now what? Leo asked, glancing around. Mia turned to the Queen, who stood before the crystal, her eyes shining with something akin to gratitude. I think we've earned her trust, she said, a smile breaking across her face. As if understanding her words, the Queen leaned closer to Mia, her massive form casting a protective shadow over the team. The Zerglings settled down, forming a living carpet around them, and in that moment, Mia felt a connection, a bond formed through mutual respect and understanding. The Queen emitted a low sound, almost like a song, and the air filled with a warmth that enveloped the team. Mia could feel the energy radiating from the crystal, an acknowledgement of their efforts. Looks like we've formed an alliance, Mia said, her voice tinged with awe. They've chosen to trust us, and in turn, we need to protect their home. Leo nodded, his earlier skepticism fading. Maybe there's hope for humanity and alien life after all. Tommy grinned. This is just the beginning, isn't it? Mia felt a rush of excitement. Yes. We'll study this ecosystem, learn how to coexist with the Zerglings, and share our findings with Earth. We can help each other. As they stood together, the Queen and her swarm encircling them, Mia realized they had embarked on a journey much greater than their original mission. They had bridged the gap between two worlds, proving that even in the face of chaos, understanding and cooperation could triumph. With the Queen watching over them and the crystal pulsing with life, the team turned their gaze toward the future, a future filled with possibilities, discoveries, and perhaps a few more surprises. Mia couldn't help but laugh. Just when you think you've seen it all, life throws you a bug-infested curveball. And with that, the adventure continued.